Continuing our journey through the Bible stories, today we are going to talk about the story of the Queen Jezebel and her terrible death. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on our videos. Queen Jezebel, a name that resonates through history as a symbol of treachery, manipulation, and unbridled ambition, stands as one of the most infamous figures in the Bible. Her story is not just a tale of individual malice, but a profound narrative about the perils of power, the dangers of idolatry, and the ultimate cost of moral corruption. Spanning the reign of King Ahab and reaching far beyond, Jezebel's life and legacy offer a compelling exploration of leadership, cultural clashes, and divine justice. Jezebel was born into royalty as a princess of Sidon, a prosperous Phoenician city-state renowned for its wealth, trade networks, and naval dominance. Her father, Baal, was both king and high priest of Baal, a major Canaanite deity. From a young age, Jezebel was steeped in the worship of Baal and Asherah, deities associated with fertility, storms, and nature. This religious upbringing profoundly influenced her worldview and later actions. Her marriage to Ahab, king of Israel, was likely a politically motivated alliance designed to strengthen ties between Israel and Phoenicia. Ahab, described in the Bible as a powerful yet morally weak king, found a formidable partner in Jezebel, whose strong personality and fervent religious beliefs soon began to reshape the Israelite court. This union marked the beginning of significant religious and cultural upheaval in Israel, as Jezebel sought to introduce and establish the worship of Baal in a land devoted to Yahweh. Upon becoming queen, Jezebel quickly set about consolidating her power and promoting her religious agenda. Her primary objective was to supplant the worship of Yahweh with that of Baal, a move that directly challenged the religious foundation of Israel. She orchestrated the construction of a grand temple to Baal in Samaria, the capital city, and appointed a large number of priests and prophets to propagate this foreign religion. Jezebel's zealous promotion of Baal worship included the ruthless persecution of Yahweh's prophets. The Bible recounts that she ordered the massacre of many prophets, creating an atmosphere of fear and oppression. One of the few who escaped her wrath was the prophet Elijah, who emerged as her most formidable adversary. Elijah repeatedly denounced Jezebel's actions, predicting divine retribution for her and her house. One of the most illustrative events of Jezebel's ruthless nature is the story of Naboth's vineyard. Naboth, a devout Israelite, owned a vineyard adjacent to Ahab's palace in Jezreel. Ahab coveted this vineyard for a vegetable garden, but Naboth refused to sell it, citing the inheritance laws of Israel that prohibited the permanent sale of family land. Ahab's despondence over Naboth's refusal led Jezebel to take matters into her own hands. She devised a cunning and unscrupulous plan to acquire the vineyard. Jezebel forged letters in Ahab's name, instructing the elders and nobles of Jezreel to proclaim a fast and seat Naboth in a prominent place among the people. She arranged for two scoundrels to accuse Naboth of cursing God and the king, offenses punishable by death. Naboth was swiftly executed and his vineyard seized by the crown. This blatant act of injustice incited the wrath of Elijah, who confronted Ahab with a prophetic declaration of doom. Elijah proclaimed that Ahab's dynasty would be annihilated and that Jezebel would meet a gruesome end, her body eaten by dogs in the very plot of land she had so wickedly acquired. Elijah's confrontation with Jezebel and Ahab reached its zenith on Mount Carmel. In a dramatic contest to prove the true God of Israel, Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal to a sacrificial duel. Each side would prepare a bull and call upon their deity to ignite the offering with fire. The prophets of Baal cried out in vain, but their God remained silent. When Elijah called upon Yahweh, fire descended from heaven, consuming the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water in the trench around the altar. This miraculous event led to a mass execution of Baal's prophets at Elijah's command, further enraging Jezebel. She vowed to kill Elijah, forcing him to flee into the wilderness. Despite her threats, Elijah continued to be a thorn in her side, condemning her actions and predicting her ultimate downfall. Even after Ahab's death in battle, Jezebel maintained significant influence through her sons, Ahaziah and Joram, who successively took the throne. She continued to promote Baal worship and wield power from behind the scenes, ensuring that her legacy of corruption endured. Jezebel's influence extended beyond religious matters. Her political acumen and ability to manipulate those around her allowed her to maintain control over the kingdom's affairs. Her sons, though kings in their own right, often acted as mere extensions of her will. She managed to keep the kingdom stable, though under a shroud of tyranny and oppression. Despite her continued hold on power, the seeds of Jezebel's downfall were being sown. Elisha, Elijah's successor, anointed Jehu, a military commander, as king of Israel with a divine mandate to annihilate Ahab's house. Jehu's insurrection was swift and brutal, marked by a relentless campaign against Ahab's descendants and supporters. Jehu's rise to power began with a dramatic confrontation at Ramoth-Gilead, where he was anointed by one of Elisha's disciples. Jehu immediately set out on a path of destruction, targeting those loyal to Ahab's dynasty. His approach was methodical and ruthless, fueled by a zeal to fulfill the prophecy of Elijah. Jezebel's end came in Jezreel, the very city where she had orchestrated Naboth's murder. When Jehu entered the city, Jezebel, defiantly adorned in royal makeup and attire, watched from a window. Her attempt to maintain a semblance of power and dignity was futile. Jehu commanded her eunuchs to throw her down, and they obeyed. Jezebel was hurled from the window, her blood splattering the walls and horses below. Jehu's chariot trampled her body, fulfilling Elijah's prophecy. When they sought to bury her, they found only her skull, feet, and hands, as dogs had devoured the rest, leaving her remains scattered in the field of Naboth's vineyard. This gruesome end served as a stark reminder of the divine retribution foretold by Elijah. Jehu's purge did not stop with Jezebel's death. He continued his campaign against the remnants of Ahab's house, executing Ahab's 70 sons, as well as the relatives and supporters of Ahaziah, the king of Judah who had allied with Joram. Jehu's actions were brutal, but they were seen as necessary to cleanse Israel of the corruption introduced by Jezebel and her family. Jehu also targeted the worshippers of Baal. He called for a grand assembly under the pretense of a great sacrifice to Baal, but it was a trap. Once all the priests and worshippers of Baal were gathered in the temple, Jehu ordered their execution and destroyed the temple, turning it into a latrine. This act symbolized the complete eradication of Baal worship in Israel, fulfilling the divine mandate given to Jehu. Jezebel's story is not merely a tale of an evil queen's rise and fall. It is a profound reflection on the consequences of idolatry, moral corruption, and defiance against divine authority. Her life and death left an indelible mark on Israelite history, symbolizing the dangers of foreign influence and the importance of remaining faithful to one's spiritual and moral principles. Her name has become a byword for wickedness and manipulation, yet her story also serves as a testament to the enduring struggle between good and evil, faith and idolatry, justice and injustice. The lessons gleaned from Jezebel's life continue to resonate, reminding us of the perils of power when divorced from ethical and spiritual integrity. Jezebel's influence extended beyond her lifetime, shaping the narratives and moral lessons of subsequent generations. Her story is recounted in the books of 1 and 2 Kings, serving as a warning to future leaders about the dangers of abandoning the worship of Yahweh and succumbing to the temptations of power and idolatry. The story of Jezebel is rich with theological significance. It highlights the covenant relationship between God and Israel and the consequences of breaking that covenant. Jezebel's introduction of Baal worship represented a direct challenge to this covenant, prompting a divine response through prophets like Elijah and Elisha. Elijah's confrontations with Jezebel underscore the power of prophetic witness in the face of tyranny. Despite the overwhelming power and influence of the queen, Elijah remained steadfast in his commitment to Yahweh, demonstrating the resilience of faith in the face of persecution. Jezebel's downfall also illustrates the theme of divine justice. Her end, prophesied by Elijah and fulfilled in gruesome detail, serves as a powerful reminder that moral corruption and injustice will ultimately be met with divine retribution. This theme is echoed throughout the biblical narrative, reinforcing the idea that no one, regardless of their power or status, is beyond the reach of God's justice. Understanding Jezebel's story also requires an appreciation of the cultural and historical context of ancient Israel. The period of the divided kingdom was marked by political instability, foreign alliances, and religious syncretism. Jezebel's marriage to Ahab exemplified the political alliances of the time, where marriage served as a tool to secure peace and economic benefits between neighboring states. Phoenicia, Jezebel's homeland, was a maritime power known for its trade and cultural influence. The Phoenicians worshipped a pantheon of gods, with Baal being one of the most prominent. Baal worship involved elaborate rituals, sacrifices, and festivals, all of which were foreign to the Israelites' monotheistic faith centered on Yahweh. Jezebel's attempt to introduce and normalize Baal worship in Israel represented a significant cultural and religious clash. Jezebel's story also sheds light on the role of women in ancient Near Eastern societies. As queen, Jezebel wielded significant power, often acting independently of her husband, King Ahab. Her influence over political and religious affairs demonstrates that women, particularly those of royal status, could exercise considerable authority and impact the course of history. However, Jezebel's legacy is marred by her ruthless methods and moral corruption. Her actions, driven by a relentless pursuit of power and a fervent commitment to Baal worship, painted her as a villain in the biblical narrative. Yet her story also highlights the complexities and challenges faced by women in positions of power, navigating a male-dominated society while attempting to assert their influence. Analyzing Jezebel's psychological profile offers additional insights into her character and motivations. Jezebel was a product of her upbringing, shaped by the religious and cultural environment of Phoenicia. Her unwavering devotion to Baal and her aggressive tactics to promote Baal worship in Israel can be seen as an extension of her identity and a means to assert her cultural heritage in a foreign land. Her ruthless actions, including the orchestration of Naboth's murder, reflect a willingness to use any means necessary to achieve her goals. This Machiavellian approach to power, characterized by cunning, manipulation, and a lack of moral restraint, underscores her complex personality. Jezebel's ability to maintain control over Ahab and her sons further illustrates her strategic mind and political acumen. However, Jezebel's story also reveals the psychological toll of such a life. Her eventual downfall, marked by defiance and a refusal to submit even in the face of death, indicates a deeply ingrained sense of pride and a belief in her invincibility. This tragic flaw, combined with her hubris, ultimately led to her demise. The tale of Jezebel serves as a powerful reflection on the dynamics of power and morality. Her rise and fall illustrate the perils of unchecked ambition and the corrosive effects of moral corruption. Jezebel's story reminds us that power, when divorced from ethical principles, can lead to devastating consequences. Her legacy, while predominantly negative, also challenges us to consider the complexities of leadership and the importance of integrity. Jezebel's influence over Israel, though malign, was undeniably significant, demonstrating the profound impact that one individual can have on the course of history. Her story prompts us to reflect on the ethical dimensions of leadership and the responsibilities that come with power. Jezebel's story continues to resonate today, offering timeless lessons about faith, justice, and the human condition. Her life and actions serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of idolatry and the importance of remaining true to one's spiritual and moral values. The prophetic confrontations with Elijah and Elisha highlight the enduring struggle between good and evil, faith and idolatry, and justice and injustice. The dramatic events of Jezebel's life, from her rise to power to her gruesome end, underscore the inevitability of divine justice. Her story reminds us that no one is beyond the reach of accountability, and that moral corruption will ultimately be met with retribution. This theme of divine justice resonates throughout the biblical narrative, reinforcing the belief in a moral order governed by a just and righteous God. The tale of Queen Jezebel is a dramatic saga of power, corruption, and divine justice. Her life, marked by relentless ambition and ruthless actions, ultimately led to a tragic and ignominious end. Through her story, we are reminded of the enduring values of justice, faith, and integrity, and the inevitable downfall that awaits those who forsake them. Jezebel's legacy, though dark and cautionary, remains a powerful narrative within the annals of biblical history, offering timeless lessons for all who seek to understand the complexities of human nature and the divine order. Jezebel's story, with its rich tapestry of historical, cultural, and theological elements, continues to captivate and instruct. Her life serves as a powerful example of the dangers of moral compromise and the enduring struggle to uphold one's faith and principles in the face of adversity. As we reflect on Jezebel's rise and fall, we are reminded of the timeless truths embedded in her story and the profound lessons it offers for our own lives. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most remarkable Bible stories. Stay tuned for more stories that bring the teachings of the Bible to life. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Until next time, may you find peace and strength in the stories of faith. Always remember, you are unique and special to God. Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay blessed and keep seeking the truth.